Hi, this is just a brief video on our bell work from solving. And these are the questions that were on the front page of your bell work, so you should already sort of attempted in solving for x. Now, the one thing that you need to recognize that in this chapter there are multiple ways of solving equations. So I'm going to show you a few ways, and our goal by the end of the chapter is to find sort of the most efficient way to solve given sort of the format of the question. So I'm going to look at question number 1 first. And again, this is just one method that I had seen worked out by a few other students. And their first choice was, let's make this equation equal 0. So that's where we're going to start. So start by set equal to 0. So when we do that, again, same exact equation that we have. Nothing changes. I'm just going to subtract x minus 4 from both sides. Then, because we're adding and subtracting, and we learned in section 8.1 that we should create a lowest common denominator, and we see that our lowest common denominator would be 8. This first equation would be needed to be multiplied by 4, so that I get a common denominator of 8. The second equation already has a denominator of 8, and this third equation needs to be multiplied by 2 to get a common denominator of 8, and it still equals 0. From here, now that we have a common denominator, we're just going to add and subtract, or we're just going to combine together all of our fractions. So we have the x plus 4, or 4 times x plus 4, plus the 1 minus the 2x. All of that is over our common denominator of 8, still equals 0. Now we're going to continue to combine like terms by distributing. So now I have 4x plus 16 plus 1 minus 2x over 8, still equals 0. Now I'm going to combine my like terms, so 4x minus 2x, I'm going to write that up here, is 2x. 16 plus 1 is 17. All of that is over 8, still equals 0. And now from here, we need to multiply both sides by 8 to get rid of our fractions, because that will allow us to cancel our 8's, leaving us with 2x plus 17 on the left, and 0 times 8 is just 8. And now our last step is to solve. So subtract 0 times 8 is 0, and subtract 17, so 2x equals negative 17. Divide both sides by 2, so x equals negative 17 over 2. So the one method that we have, or that I'm showing you here first, is set your equation equal to 0, create an LCD, combined all like terms, and then really this last step is to solve using your sort of algebra rules. Let's move on to question 2. In question 2, I could use the same method that I used in question 1, but I'm going to show you an alternative method. An alternative method would be that instead of setting equal to 0, the first step that we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the lowest common denominator. So multiply by the LCD. So we know in this case 3, 2, and 6, the LCD is 6. So if I multiply this first equation by 6, it would be 6x over 3. If I multiply the second equation by 6, it would be 6 times x minus 3 over 2. And if I multiply the third equation by 6, I have 6 times x minus 1 over 6. Then your second step is to reduce or cancel. 6 divided by 3 leaves you with 2x. 6 divided by 2 leaves you with 3x minus 3. And 6 divided by 6 leaves you with 1 times x plus 1. We no longer have any fractions, so we're just going to start to combine again like terms. So we have 2x plus 3x minus 9 equals x plus 1. leaving us with 5x minus 9 equals x plus 1. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, so I have 4x minus 9 equals 1. Add 9, so 4x equals 10. So x equals 10 divided by 4, or simplified, again, 5 over 2. So this is a second method that I can use where I could instead start by multiplying by the lowest common denominator, reduce, combine like terms, and then really solve algebraically through the end. So we've done two methods. I'm going to repeat those two methods as we go over questions 3 and 4. So again, for question 3, I'm going to use that first method. Our first method was to set this equation equal to 0. So again, just a method, set equal to 0. There are other methods. These are the two methods that many people found to be the most helpful and the most efficient. So I'm going to subtract x over 15 from both sides so that it equals 0. Then if you remember, we said that we would create the lowest common denominator. In here, that would be 30. So this would have to be multiplied by 3 to get a 30. This one would have to be multiplied by 6. So 6 times 3 is 18 over 30. And this one we have to multiply by 2 because 15 times 2 is 30, still equals 0. Then what we said was start to combine them together into one fraction. So 3x plus 2 plus 18 minus 2x, all over their common denominator of 30, equals 0. Continue to combine by distributing. So we distribute the 3. Again, all of that is still over your common denominator of 30. Combined one more time, so 3x minus 2x is an x, plus 24 over 30 equals 0. We multiply both sides by 30 to kind of get rid of that fraction, get rid of that denominator, because it's the 30 over 1, those cancel, leaving you with x plus 24, and 0 times anything is 0. And now, like we said previously, we're going to solve, so subtract 24 from both sides, and we have our answer. So method 1 is where we sort of set it equal to 0 first. Many people found that to be their favorite method. Let's look at question number 4 now, using the other method. So in question number 4, we have this equation. Again, remember that x is being divided by 1, and our other method was the first thing we would do is multiply by the LCD. The LCD between 7 and 4 is 28. So again, this would become 28x over 1 plus 28 divided by 7 equals 28 times x minus 2 over 4. Then we said we would reduce. Well, 28x divided by 1 is 28x. 28 divided by 7 is 4. 28 divided by 4 leaves you with 7x minus 2. And then, in this case, we will distribute. So we have 28x plus 4 equals 7x minus 14. And now we are just going to solve. Subtract 7x from both sides. Subtract 4 from both sides. Divide by 21. And reduce. Both are divisible by 3, leaving you with negative 6 over 7. So we just went through two methods. There are other methods that you will find in your textbook. So if you open up your textbook to section 8.3, section 8.3, you can look on page 622. And on page 622 in our textbook, they're going to show you some other methods for solving rational equations. If you have any questions, make sure that you stop in for a resource or find your teacher and ask. Thank you.